rolling, shut the fucking lost up. You dying in there, and you for Judy, dropped off and not for the story. Dropping that not the story.
Tears of a schizophrenic. I'm not prepared to go through that. I'm not prepared to put you through that. We'll be here all day, and it would be very boring, and very dark, and very emotional, and probably quite teary. Which is why I make these silly little films of me talking to Cameron. They give me a lift, they give me a sense of purpose, that I'm not without value or voice in a world where we often all feel without value or voice. Some of us don't even want a value or a voice. Some people just want to get through the day, and the work they put in, unsung. I'm thinking of the NHS, I'm thinking of many workers. We live in a nation of legends. They don't look great, all of them, but pulchritude does not define the valour of man. I've just listened to a young lad on Facebook for all its wonders and comedy. But this one isn't so funny. It's a paralysed young boy in a wheelchair, poor sausage, who has a love for Jesus Christ, as I do. And I know I don't look too bad for my age. I'm 50, but I've been looked after well by the mental health team in this country, because I haven't resorted to hard drugs to cope. Those who do never cope well. They just become irritants to society and pains in the ass, and screw up on sinful monumental occasion quite regularly. However, without wishing to bring it down on things, this little chat has inspired me to tell you more about some of the lighter sides of schizophrenia, the funny sides of schizophrenia. It's hard to think of them, I suppose, but they are there. There's definitely been a few. And it all goes way back into the distant mists of time. Well, I've been through so many supernatural episodes, it's unreal. I can no longer engage with reality. I hope you understand this. I'm not particularly strong, not even mental anymore. I'm losing the will to live, but I'm used to that. I've been doing that for 30 years. Don't do acid, kids. Oh, mate. If there's one thing you should not do in this world, it's LSD. Because it's just awful. And if it goes bad for you, and it might, it's gone bad for a lot of people, it can rupture you forever, in a way. Not like dead, but maybe worse, like poor Syd Barrett. Oh my gosh. Poor Syd Barrett. I dread to think. I dread to think what he went through. I'm well aware of the evil out there. Evil thinks it's clever and smart, but always sins. Drink this in memory of me. Kenneth Boson, possibly the Tree of Life. We just don't know, do we? But these aren't per se sins, and they're done perpetually. Even then, it's not a hellfire sin. Depending on how you interpret pharmakeia, which is sometimes interpreted as dark arts or sorcery. That's why I don't read Harry Potter. I don't like the fanciful nature of too much imagination in my writing. My writing is much more grounded in reality, and you may laugh, given I believe in God, but that you don't know reality. You You mundane, temporal unbelievers. You have no idea what we talk about when we talk of God. You reject the notion, not in your wisdom, in your palpable ignorance. You think you're all that, but you're surface level this intellectually, to write off God as an absolute. It's just an ignorant artist thing to do. And that is why there is a division in this holy land. And it's not just in England, it's everywhere. It's in the world. It's everywhere you go. There are the believers and the unbelievers. And then there's a very small unit of people who are lit, as the American friends may say. Illuminated. And I am one of them. We are the Illuminati. In the book of Revelation, there are 24 crowns at one point. 24 crowned human men who congregate, I believe, at some point in the future. I have often wondered, being one of the crowned ones of God, if I'm one of the 24, I'm going to go to a groovy meeting or something in the future. I don't know. No one's invited me. No one really believes I'm the crowned one by God, but it's true. I'm not saying I'm Jesus Christ. That would be hubris. That would be ignorant. That would be silly. But I am crowned in light by God. And when I tell this to my mother, she thinks I'm barking mad. And my father thinks I'm barking mad. And yet they are the definition of just being normal and not understanding a more holistic, spiritual, supernatural reality laced in evidential experience from a first-party witness to events that I cannot refute. To refute what I have experienced would be to refute myself. And I'm not prepared to do that, for that would be stupid of me, if I even care a jot for my psyche, my soul, my well-being and my life, which, apart from the suicidal tendencies, I tend to do. Okay? So, I have a supernatural mind. I relate with Professor Xavier from the X-Men more than many men. Because he's a schizophrenic, basically. He can hear voices, he can control time, and he's quite cerebral, good, which is good, because I like that spin on it. He's not a nutter, he's not a baddie, he's a goodie. I really like that. And he went to public school. Great. See, I've got a lot going on with him. But the point is, I can't remember what the original point was. We were talking about voices. I was going to say, anyway, the whole point of making this original documentary, regardless of initially what we've just been going through, is that this chap, the paralysed chap, sees his weakness as a superpower. And in a sense, he's right, it is. And this is huge in Christianity. Your and Kung Fu, funnily enough. Your weakness is your power. And I'm not stupid. I am just aware of supernatural realities. I'm aware of a supernatural perspective being actual, being evident within my own psyche. For instance, retrocausality has happened, in theory, in my reality. Can I prove it easily? No. But I'm telling you, it's happened. I've had a host of epiphanies in my walk with God and schizophrenia. Because once I hit the shit pit hell zone in 1995, I knew it was, holy moly, get me out of here. It's God or Hades. And I chose God. And I have never regretted my decision. Even though there's been many tough days, much persecution, much fear and hatred by weirdos thinking, I don't know what I think. But anyway, the point is, I walked with God a long time. And there are many wonders, many wonders. I remember a priest one day, well, no, he was a vicar actually. I hope you know the difference, dear chaps. Not that there's a huge one these days, I like to think. They're all much of a muchness, men trying to seek the way of God. But it was the silliest thing I'd ever seen. We had this village fete, and there was the priest who I had asked to come and try and exorcise me from this dark spirit, having had a successful exorcism up the road in Salisbury, where a minor miracle occurred and I lost the demon attachment thanks to praying to Jesus Christ. As I thought I may have remnants, so I asked this guy. He looked at me like I was a weirdo, right? But this guy wasn't a legitimate priest. He's like, look, what do you mean? We'll give you an exorcism. What are you like? Well, he didn't say that. That's what he looked like in his mind to me. And I'm like, hold on, you're meant to be a priest. You're meant to do this sort of stuff. Anyway, the last I saw of him, he was sat down holding a very ripe tomato with a big glee on his face amid the agricultural sun of the summer British meadows, and he was smiling so heartily because we had a valiant harvest of like a few tomatoes. And I was like, wow, you know, this is why I really go for the God thing, because God has blessed me more than just a ripe tomato. And I hope he knows that. The power of being blessed by God comes with its own freakery of reality by which you guys perceive this truth to be actual or not. Those who deny it, what am I meant to do? I can't deny me. Do you understand? This is the key differential and understanding that hopefully the salve to wound the schism in Britain and elsewhere in the world right now between not only Christianity but all sorts of cultures and religions and things like that. None of us are omniscient. Sorry, none of us is omniscient. Yes, that is correct English. But what are we to do? You know, it's okay not to know. Not even angels are biblically omniscient. They don't know. They just follow the will of God, like all good Christians try to do as well. I think God is the uber wonder. He's the muse of all muses. It's certainly not a sexual thing. It's an awe thing. It's just like the sheer scope of the gargantuan size of the incredible brains that go behind the lattice framework of this quantum awesome circus, for want of a word, in the intergalactic finery of the uber consciousness of consciousness. We are laced with miracles and wonders and herbal remedies and fine women of excellent bosom and all these gem things like animals and trees. But that's our planet, you know. What if on other planets it was completely different? Gold might be ubiquitous in another planet. Maybe that's where the New Jerusalem gets made, on another planet, because gold is in abundance there. And the New Jerusalem, I believe through reading the Bible in the future, is a 1,500 mile cuboid spacecraft which comes from heaven, i.e. space. I can't see it coming, a craft that big coming from anywhere else. And we don't have that much found gold on this planet at the moment, although the people of, where is it? It's not Sudan, it's Uganda, is it? Somewhere like that. Have found a huge amount of gold. They'll be rich in a few years, won't they? If they know how to spend it wisely. Let's trust they do. But, you know, moving on, what is the essence of all mankind to do? We know what we're not meant to do in the Bible, but what are we meant to do? Well, I think we're meant to keep the peace, love one another by keeping the peace. Even if you don't really like the person, you've got to love them out of sheer impact of influence they've had. If they're a criminal, that's another matter. You can't have people invading you and beating you up and raping you and killing you and murdering you. That's just not the same thing. That's not. No one should put up with that. But anyway, what are you going to do? You can't turn the other cheek to a bullet, my friends. There is no advice in the Bible for how to deal with guns, because they weren't around then. The invention of the mass killing multi-user machine gun was actually a huge leap in global riches at the time. The invention of the Gatling gun in particular married the notion of mass slaughter of the enemy efficiently with a rise in registered economics. So too the deployment of 2 A-bombs. I probably said this before. Am I repeating myself? But the point is, this is valid data into how mankind functions. And it appears love is a most motivating and powerful and universal energy that is tended to be agreed upon as a workable solution to way, even under the way of God. And that is why we promote love, and it does work, I say. I have forgiven my enemies. They don't bother me much anymore. And any new ones, I don't even consider them enemies. I just consider them weirdos in society who don't take a dislike to me. But I had some hard brothers who turned against me when I was young, and they screwed me up for a long time. But now I'm pretty chipper. I honestly feel sorry for them, and that's not meant to sound patronising. It's just the truth. I just think, God, were you that evil to think that evil of me? When I only loved you, you know. I only loved them really. Apart from maybe one, but no, they were funny. We had fun times. But no, everyone has to screw up, be evil, be dark, take things too seriously, go too far. Of which of the latter could also be accused on occasion. And it is in this that I thank society for showing me mercy at my weakest. And so thus, I extend that courtesy to my enemies, hoping they too will learn the benevolence of Christendom. That was 3 words in once, pronounced badly. It was meant to be Christianity, Christendom, and Christian ways of life, Christian virtues. That's 4. Spanish Inquisition. Back in your Nuneaton suit. But no, I'm really into God. I can't explain it. Can't even easily define it. But I sure can feel it on occasion and see things that don't make sense. And I don't think we should be writing off God. I think we should be understanding the few epiphanies that I've had and looking into them, how they might function and why. And like, this is a huge subject, I can't broach this point. But just imagine the angels of light, they're light, they can fly on a photon package. They're 2D, I think, without features, but translucent humanoid. They don't want you smoking in bed. But they arrive on a golden west, which is just as much valid data if you're paying attention as to the actual expression of the epiphany of themselves in that humanoid form. And as the golden wisp appeared in my corridor, I think it was like a little zip file made of light. And a zip file, if you know your computing, is compressed data to make it easier to pass through passageways of transmission, I beg your pardon. And so, it occurred to me that the aliens are so advanced, angels, read aliens, angels, same thing in one level of understanding, they can send through time quite rapidly a zip file of just purely photonic energy that could almost self-orchestrate, is automated, sentient, who knows, into a specific position by which to open, express the visual desire to be seen by the human and viewer, the observer, and bosh, they're gone. But there it was, and there is the signal from intelligence beyond our system. It lasted less than 3 seconds in reality. No, I was not asleep. I remember it so vividly. And I'm now 14k in debt to the government